Reddit, what does it feel like to be in love? At first, it's like spring. Everything's blooming. Your chest feels like it's going to explode, you're so happy to see or even hear from the other person, but you're both still a little unsure about what to do with the feeling. They're the person with whom you most look forward to speaking. And then it's summer. Everything is hot and heavy. You can't get enough of each other. It's passionate. It's like, your world is on fire for this person. It isn't just lust. Porn doesn't hold the same attraction anymore. If it does, you no longer look at it as actors on a screen getting it on. You picture your significant other because they're the person that really gets you off. And then the fire comes but doesn't go away. It's like fall. Fall is my favorite time of year, so perhaps that's how I equate it to love. You're just absolutely content to hold this person's hand or be in their presence. It's no longer an overwhelming happiness unless you stop to think about it. You don't feel the need to be in this person's presence every day, but you still do because it's just comfortable. It's a very calm happiness. This person isn't just everything you can think about consciously. They're in your thoughts without even realizing it. This person is not just a part of your day anymore. Suddenly, they're part of who you are as a person. And love is also like winter. Sometimes it's hard. You'll fight. Without even knowing it, you'll say things that hurt the other person so deeply. You have the power to completely destroy this other person. Then you realize what this person could do to you. And you're suddenly terrified. You either open up even more and take that chance that they won't destroy you, or you run. If you choose to run or the other person does, it can take years to get over it. A year just to stop crying every day. Another year to stop physically hurting. You'll never forget that person. You'll compare every new romantic prospect to that person. They'll never meet the standard because you've only just met them. How could they? Until one day you meet someone with whom you just enjoy speaking. And suddenly, it's spring again. You love your girl because she's your best friend. She's the hot fudge on your sundae. You're your girl, she's the reason, she's the one you can talk to. You know she's there for you, and you're there for her. It's just how it is. When a hot chick asks you for a drink, you're all, hey, that sounds really fun, but I don't think my girl would like that. She's in your head. She is you. And you're so cool with that. You can play with her. You're all, hey, wanna go in the snow, and she's already grabbing jackets. She can complain to you about her, and all she wants is you to tell her she got this. You know when she wants you to step in because she'll tell you. She's your because, your bro, the one you should trust. If you don't trust her completely, she is not your girl. I met someone and I was never so sure about anything in my entire life. After a day with him, I felt like I had known him for a month. After a week, it felt like a year. After a month, it felt like a decade. I can tell him anything. I trust him completely. He completely understands my sense of humor. He supports me, and I support him. I will always be there for him. Everything feels right. There is no nagging feeling in the back of my head, is this the right choice? Nothing has ever felt so right in my entire life. I'm not sure where I want to go, or what I want to be, or what I want to do, but I'm absolutely positive that I wanted to be with him. I know for certain what love is. The most frightening thought to me is how fragile and delicate the threads of life are. A million combinations of decisions and situations could have been different, and I would have never met him. Sometimes it's that person you can't stop thinking about. What are they doing? Could you ask them out, or is it wrong? That obsession can be painful even. Why won't she return my call? Sometimes it can feel like just her look would make your heart burst from the inside. Sometimes it'll hurt to be away. Sometimes it's the incredible lust to just push them against the wall and kiss them. It's the unbearable rush of adrenaline as you ask them out for the very first time. But those are young loves in my experience. Once you've gotten out of the first bit of relationships, they know you, and you know them. You feel all of what you did, but it feels vulnerable. They could rip your heart out at any moment, and you know it's only because they accept you, and love you, that spares their hand. Sometimes, you can't believe that they really do accept you for you. As you get older, love feels more like comfort. It feels like walking home from work on a cold winter's day to the smell of fresh baked bread. Why? Because she just loves you. It's watching her smile as you ask her out for old time's sake. It's when you roll over in bed and put your arms around your partner, and the troubles of the universe melt away. Remember the happiness you felt as a kid when you realized that school was out today for snow? Or what about the aroma that fills a kitchen when your favorite treat was getting out of the oven? Think about that feeling that comes with being bundled up in your blankets on a rainy Sunday morning. Or when you were little and you played with your best friend, and you two would talk about the most ridiculous things ever? Those things that only the two of you could laugh about, since everyone else just didn't get it. It's like having a Hobbes for your Calvin, you always have someone to protect you. Monsters can never get to you as long as they are around. When you are in love, you realize just how fragile you are and vice versa. You find yourself sharing things with another person you would never tell the average person. Through this shared fragility, you gain strength. You are two people together, and like Lego pieces, you fill the gaps to one another. You realize that you are needed and wanted, and that feeling is intense. Love means you are always putting another person's needs ahead of your own, and you never feel jealous about it. Love makes you overlook the petty things that bother you. I promise you Oreo crumbs won't be that big of a deal anymore. You want them to have everything they wanted, and you will do whatever it takes to help this goal be reached. You know, when I'd had high school or college crushes, I occasionally wondered if a strong crush was love. But then, if one of those crushes said or did something that annoyed me, I'd lose interest and then I'd move on. When I actually fell in love, I knew it was different because even if I were annoyed or angry at my significant other for a particular incident or ongoing issue, the idea of being without him was unbearable. The Gammon quote is sort of spot on. You're willing to make yourself vulnerable to that person, even if it terrifies you, because you want to show the other person how true you are. And making that person happy suddenly becomes one of your major priorities. You might struggle to make it work, but it'd be so much harder to live without him, her than with. Love is a conscious choice made every day to put another person on the same level you put yourself. Caring about them, looking after them, being comfortable with them. It really is becoming one entity. It's a privilege to be a part of. I have been in a relationship for 8 years. We have had our share of difficulties, some pretty bad ones at times. I would never trade what we have been through together. It has made us stronger for it. To me, that is what love is, communication and understanding and a willingness to improve. It feels like you have someone to rely on, no matter what. Yes, all the butterflies come along with it, just as anger sometimes does. But love is closeness and togetherness, and it is very comforting. Being in love means being made complete. You find a person who seems to become a part of you, their pain is your pain, their loss is yours, and so is their joy and their happiness. If you lose that person, it is like losing a part of yourself, and the memories that you had with them become something different and painful. You see them in everything and miss them every moment. Love is incredible, but does it hurt when it goes wrong? Being in love is like standing in front of a button that says, "Push this for a cookie." You push the button, and you receive a cookie. But then you push the button again, and a bird shits on you. And you just keep pushing the button repeatedly, and you just continually get shat on by birds, but about once every 100 button presses, you actually get a cookie, and it is the best cookie you have ever had. You will do anything and everything for that person. You will drop anything at a moment's notice if they need you. They are on your mind constantly, and petty things remind you of them and make you smile. When you get a text, your first thought is, "I hope that's him," and when it isn't, you're always kind of disappointed. His very presence can light up your day, and the words "I love you" are always on your lips and in your heart. Even after being together for so long, you still get butterflies when you kiss, and his touch has never made you feel so safe and comfortable. However, if this love is one-sided, it is single-handedly the worst thing one can possibly go through. Heartbreak has killed countless people throughout history, yet we all go through it. I can't even describe the pain, the jealousy, and hurt. It turns you into an ugly person, by no fault of your own. But, to have love when it is returned, makes all that hurt worth it. In the last year, I went through these two kinds of love. The awful, gut-wrenching kind of love, and the most amazing feeling of love returned. My so right now saved me, after I was left in pieces by someone who didn't return how I felt. I can say, without a hesitation or doubt, that I would go through that pain and hurt, those months of constant crying, and the depression so thick I couldn't eat or sleep, to be with him. To have him, and to be in love, is so worth it. This describes being in love exactly. Only once in your life, I genuinely believe, you find someone who can completely turn your world around. You tell them things that you've never shared with another soul, and they absorb everything you say and actually want to hear more. You share hopes for the future, dreams that will never come true, goals that were never achieved, and the many disappointments life has thrown at you. When something wonderful happens, you can't wait to tell them about it, knowing they will share in your excitement. They are not embarrassed to cry with you when you are hurting or laugh with you when you make a fool of yourself. Never do they hurt your feelings or make you feel like you are not good enough, but rather they build you up and show you the things about yourself that make you special and even beautiful. There is never any pressure, jealousy, or competition, but only a quiet calmness when they are around. You can be yourself and not worry about what they will think of you because they love you for who you are. The things that seem insignificant to most people, such as a note, song, or walk, become invaluable treasures kept safe in your heart to cherish forever. Memories of your childhood come back and are so clear and vivid it's like being young again. Colors seem brighter and more brilliant. Laughter seems part of daily life where before it was infrequent or didn't exist at all. A phone call or two during the day helps to get you through a long day's work and always brings a smile to your face. In their presence, there's no need for continuous conversation, but you find you're quite content in just having them nearby. Things that never interested you before become fascinating because you know they are important to this person who is so special to you. You think of this person on every occasion and in everything you do. Simple things bring them to mind like a pale blue sky, gentle wind, or even a storm cloud on the horizon. You open your heart knowing that there's a chance it may be broken one day, and in opening your heart, you experience a love and joy that you never dreamed possible. You find that being vulnerable is the only way to allow your heart to feel true pleasure that's so real it scares you. You find strength in knowing you have a true friend and possibly a soulmate who will remain loyal to the end. Life seems completely different, exciting, and worthwhile. Your only hope and security is in knowing that they are a part of your life. Bob Marley. To be in love is a feeling that transcends human language. It's a strange feeling, a mix of desire, happiness, and absolute craziness. Love of all the emotions is the strongest in terms of what it can do and what it feels like. It can control what you do, what you think, and even other emotions. It's something amazing when reciprocated, similar to a feeling of winning something when the chances are small, but absolutely devastating when your efforts have been in vain. It's a feeling that makes you vulnerable. You are willing to let down your defenses just for that one person and you trust them not to destroy what you've given them. It's unconditional. You would sacrifice everything to just be with them, to make them smile, to show them that what you're giving them is something beyond what they can imagine and that there is more to come if that person accepts you. Meeting the girl I love tomorrow. Me, unhappily married but staying together for the kids. The girl and I had our moment before she left me to concentrate on another. We now work together, and I tear apart inside every day when I see her. Going to tell her again tomorrow, our first quiet time alone in a cafe for 2 years that I haven't slept a night without her as the last thing my mind sees before oblivion. Could have left my wife, receive constant interest from other women, but I only want the one I can't have. It is a mind virus. You feel like you can spend the rest of your life with this person, who isn't dreaming. Every time you think of this person, you feel like you drank a glass of butterbeer, or hugged from the inside out. When you leave this person for the day, you have a smile on your face for the next hour, or a skip in your step. You love this person's flaws and qualities, and bask in the vice versa, and you don't feel like you'll lose this person to anyone. And my favorite, you feel content to miss a planned date to spend it curled up together in a warm bed. Love is an amazing but unexplainable feeling. The person you love is the first person you think of when you wake up and the last person you think of when you go to bed. And if that person loves you back, then grab hold of that love with both hands and never let it go. For me at least, love came in the form of vomit. I would be cuddling with her and just have so many butterflies in my stomach that I would need to excuse myself to go to the bathroom so that I could throw up. This happened for the first few weeks while dating her. I didn't tell her until many months later. She thought it was adorable. It was the best feeling in the world. Feeling precarious and dangerous, yet safe and sheltered at the same time. Every emotion connected to your partner is amplified, good or bad. It's beautiful and terrifying. It's like riding a stallion bareback. You can only grab a fistful of mane and hang on. Losing it is devastating, worse than a death. You feel it's once in a lifetime, but the good news is it's not. It's probably different for everyone else, but for me it was the safety net to my life. I could say, at least someone loves me. Someone finds me attractive and is absolutely wild about me. Even if you fight, you don't feel that barrel-empty loneliness that you do after being single forever. And that's what it is at its basest form. Depending on the relationship, it gets better than that. But it also explains why people tend not to drop relationships quickly. A lot of people just don't want to be alone. I don't believe in being able to feel love. You can feel attraction, affection, camaraderie, and still not be in love. Love is, to me, more a matter of self-imposed commitment to a person and putting their happiness before yours. If this comes naturally to someone, and has been for years, you can most likely safely say you're in love with that person. It's like my entire center of gravity got shifted from me to between us. I almost physically feel like my heart is being pulled in his direction. When I sleep next to him, I feel little explosions of endorphins throughout my body. When I get back from trips, I never feel like I've actually come home until I see him. It's pretty great, smiley face. It's like giving someone the key to any and all defenses you put up, so the world doesn't hurt you. You'd only do this for a person you trust and care for without limit. You let them have what it is to be you. This piece is fragile and complex, and you are endlessly happy that they have it, and you have them, for a time. And then, after you've exceeded your usefulness to them, they toss this complex, fragile object that is you onto the ground and never look back. If anyone else had done this, you could have shrugged this off, it wouldn't matter, but it was the one person that mattered. The one person you let see what makes you weak. And you shatter. So, you pick up the pieces and try to glue them back stronger, so this kind of thing never happens again. You put up more walls and slowly return to normal. And, if you are lucky, you get to repeat the process once more. It's confusing, wonderful, all-consuming, and life-changing. You cry and you ache because of all the love that you have for this one person. You're both so perfectly happy and terrified of how much you've come to rely on another human being. I just feel super lucky. Not because I don't deserve him, but because I found him. It's like putting on pajamas right out of the dryer. He's not just the right person, he's a really good person. I really like what someone else said, that even when you're having the worst day ever, it's still bearable because you have love. I've been single for the first 20 years. The feeling of love is a great something everyone should experience. You get butterflies every time you see or talk to that special someone. Well, until the one you love puts you in the friend zone. That was a sad day for me, and her BF now husband is a total worthless jerk off. I almost got into a fight with him. He would have kicked my ass anyway. When mentioning her name makes your heart explode with joy. Where every day is the happiest day of your life. And when you don't want to sleep, because reality is so much better than any dream. It feels like I have finally found a place to fit in and everything will work out. I have someone to take care of me when I'm old and vice versa. You can fall in infatuation or desire someone, but as many are saying their ex. Its prolol was real. Love is knowing you've found forever. Everything looks brighter and you smile for no reason. It's that sweet feeling of hurrying home because you know he's there waiting for you. Just seeing their face is enough to bring a smile to your face. Really relaxing.
Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe. The Internet Surfer on YouTube for more horror and scary stories.